You good? Are you framed up?
Yep.
Ready to podcast a
Let's
podcast?
podcast the fuck out of this.
All right.
Whatever that means.
Alrighty, well, welcome to the Feral and Unfiltered podcast. It's Feral Friday, and I'm Fuzzy Pants McGee, and this is my sidekick Buttons. Just kidding. I'm Cat Jack.
And I'm Red.
And we're gonna talk about some shit.
Yeah.
All Feral and Unfiltered like.
So much.
So many
Things.
Yep. All right. So I think the topic that we had set aside for today is life with both ADHD and autism. And you've got the ADHD.
Yeah.
And
probably some tism too.
It's a
Not
spectrum.
as much.
It's a spectrum.
It is.
Yeah. And I have what has been clinically diagnosed as severe ADHD and what they are now just calling autism.
Just
Back when I first got my diagnosis, they called it Asperger's.
Right.
But apparently you can't call it Asperger's anymore.
When did that stop?
I guess it became more widely known that whoever Dr. Asperger was a Nazi.
Okay, so we're gonna stop calling
And so they
it
don't
that?
call it Asperger's anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, that's for those of you who know, my RAD score is 252. If you know, you know. That's a lot. If you don't have any autism, it's because I have it all. There's none left for you. But there are certain things that does give us in common, because we both have the ability, or maybe propensity is a better word, to hyperfixate.
Right.
Which causes weird things. It causes the acquisition of hobbies. It causes collections. It causes weird behaviors. Which hobbies have you acquired most recently?
Geez, most recently? Ooh. I don't know about most recently, but the one that I've been doing for almost like 8 years now is miniature painting. So that's a hobby that I do, and I'm really good at.
That you're really fucking good at it. By the way, are you? Before I blow up your spot,
Sure.
Are you
ADHD.
Are you still taking commissions?
Yes, I am.
I think this would be a good time for our editor to punch in some photos of of your really fucking good miniature work.
Okay.
And you should reach out to Red if you want your miniatures painted well, and you're gonna go to a con or you're gonna game with anybody. You will have the biggest dick there if you bring her miniatures, because they are so fucking gorgeous. It's amazing the work that you do. It's incredible.
Oh, thanks.
But having done it for 8 years is not like a hyperfixate hobby. Like a hyperfixate hobby is like when you get into it intensely for a brief period of time and then you move on to something else because you can't fucking help yourself.
So I scored a 90 on my RADs, not a 250.
Okay. So you can like have a life.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
No, but I do start a lot of projects that I just stop like midway through though.
What's the funniest one you've done recently? Have you ever done one where you're looking at you watch yourself behaving that way and you're like, come on, me?
Not crocheting, but sewing when I was in high school.
Yeah.
That was it. I did a few things. I'm like, that's enough. Yeah, I can't. I think it was just as lame as hemming my own pants.
Wow.
It's like, that's the thing I'm going to have to do the rest of my life. Or I could just roll them up because I'm so short.
So sewing was when I got into heavily. It started because I have a very weird body shape. Like I've got a long torso, short legs. I'm average height, unlike you, who's very small. And I've got a really fat ass. Like so much junk in the trunk. Like I've always got somewhere to sit, right? But it means if things fit my ass, they don't fit me anywhere else. Mm-hmm. They're too big everywhere else. And I was just so frustrated by not being able to find fun clothes. And when I did find them, they were like, when I found clothes that fit, I didn't like them. So I'm like, well, the obvious solution is to immediately buy a sewing machine and learn to sew. And that escalated so quickly that I got into sewing. I got into quilting. I started making clothes. I opened a business called Rifterwear and actually like did a few weddings. And yeah.
really went all
I
out.
went like hard
Fucking
all the
all out,
way. Got an overlock machine. I had a room in my apartment. Like we moved into a different apartment that had extra rooms. Specifically, we had a room for all of my fabric that I acquired. So I would go around to like curtain making shops, of which there are many in Las Vegas because of like all of the house developments and all of the hotels always need curtains. And I would like buy their offcuts. And I had like a room full of fabric and a sewing
I never
room.
went that hard.
I went insane. Yeah. And then I did one wedding too many. And tired of dealing with like bridezillas and like making clothing for weddings is always insane. And I was just like, well, that's enough of that. And when I moved here, I gave away all my fabric. I gave away my sewing. I haven't touched a sewing machine in a few years now. Mm-hmm. And I was a seamstress. I went from doing that to, and I'm done.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Like I lost interest in sewing in the middle of a sentence about sewing. Like it was over. And it's crazy how like the hyperfixations will come over me like a demon. Like you just like get possessed, right? And I can't stop. It's like against my own will. But also even if it's something that I'm really desperately passionate about, where like I want to keep doing it, once I lose interest, it's over, bro. Like there's nothing I can do. I'm like, well, and I'm done with that. Like I don't care if I ever touch another sewing machine. I don't know if that'll ever come back. Some of them come back around. If you ever want to test somebody for ADHD or autism, if you're pretty sure they have it, don't ask them if they knit or crochet. Just be like, how much yarn do you have? And if they have an answer to that, or like, how do you store your yarn? And if they immediately go, oh, I keep mine in bins or I keep mine in bags, you're talking to somebody special. Okay? Yarn and balls of string are for our people.
See, I thought you told me, like, that's how you find out if someone's queer.
It's, what? No. No. Queer people don't always knit or crochet, but ADHD and autistic people do. They something.
Yeah.
You scored low.
I did. Mine said there were signs, but...
Yeah, you're on the low end of the spectrum. You're on the low end of the spectrum, that's for sure. But it's the hyperfixations come on fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of them is this podcast. We've been really into this lately. I don't see this backing off, though. Because whenever there's, like, another person involved in whatever it is, fun. Then it stays engaging and it stays fun. But early in life, before I really understood my neurodivergent makeup, one of the things that nobody tells you is that you can hyperfixate on people. Mm. And you can like have relationships with people and then all at once just lose interest.
Yeah. And
I had a couple of friendships like that, a couple of boyfriends like that, a couple of girlfriends like that, where like just like in the middle, like in high school, like in the middle of making out, I'm like, I don't like you. Like all at once, I'm like,
that's definitely something I've never done.
I'm gonna leave now. Bye.
Seriously, in the middle of a makeout session, just straight up no.
Yeah.
Did they kiss bad?
I mean, we were 15 or 16, so probably. You're not good at anything at that point. But yeah, his name was Jake.
Okay.
Yeah. We went by Jake. His actual name was, I'm gonna out him right now, John Jacob Johnson.
No shit.
The fuck? Come on, what were
fucking
your parents?
Jake.
What were your parents thinking? Fucking Jake. I mean, he's all right. But yeah, just kind of in the middle of, I remember it. Like we ditched school to go make out, right? Because fuck algebra. When am I gonna need that? Ugh. But horny teens, you got needs. And just in the middle of like hanging out, making out, feeling each other up, I was like, I don't think I want to be here. He was like, what? You didn't want to do this today? I'm like, I did want to do this today. And I've done it.
And that's it. Did you walk away, or
I'm like,
fight
I'm gonna go home now. And he goes, all right, well, like when you want to hang out again. I'm like, I don't. And I thought that was like a normal thing to do, because you don't know that you're the weird one for a long time. Like you're just like, oh, whenever you hear somebody, when I talk about some of the experiences that I have as being an autistic person, if you're listening to me say these things and you go, oh, everybody does that, you need to get evaluated.
Because not everyone does.
Not everybody does that. No, you're autistic as shit if you thought that was reasonable. And like there's like it's not like a wrong thing to do, but I was just like, no. And I'm bored. Losing interest in things quickly is the word. And that's also why I've had so many jobs. Because you get into a new job and as soon as I learn all of the tasks of whatever that new job is, and then I lose interest. Or if you realize that there's any amount of bullshit at the job. Because there's that
that makes it really, really hard.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I've had so many jobs. There's that neurodivergent, hyperinflated sense of justice. Justice. They're really fixated on this is wrong and you're wrong.
Yeah.
And everybody has to agree that this is wrong. And if you can't you can't do that in every work situation. The fact that I've worked where I work now for 5 years is fucking crazy, dude. And I think that the only reason it's lasted that long is that I now work from home. Like so many people, I got sent to work from home during COVID and then never went back to the office. A lot of people did, and I just didn't. And then I relocated. So, and they let me take my job with me, which I'm very grateful for. But I think if I had to still go to the office every day, it would be the stuff of I wouldn't have made it a year.
No,
I used to sit in the parking lot in my car. I would get to work at least an hour early. Right? If you're aggressively punctual. If I'm ever late to anything, it's because I'm dead. So I show up an hour early, sit in my truck for 30 minutes in the parking lot, just trying to calm myself down before I go in the building, because it's a sales floor, so they're always playing music, and then there's fluorescent lights, which, the loud lights.
Those are loud.
Those are loud. Mm-hmm. I don't know how, they don't make a sound. That doesn't mean they're not loud. I don't know. If you don't know, you don't know.
This, buzzing sound.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda.
If you've ever been in a warehouse, you know that.
Yeah.
Sound.
And so they got the fluorescent lights, which are overstimulating. Then everybody's going to want to say, hey, what's up? Couple of people are huggers. And it's not that I'm not a hugger. I just don't want to hug those people.
Right.
I want to initiate the hug. Don't initiate a hug with me. You can. Not right now. But yeah. But there's going to be people around. Yeah. They're going to touch me. Everybody's going to talk to me. People are going to want to make small talk. What'd you do over the weekend? And I can't be. I can't be I reorganized my yarn and alphabetized my shoes, and then I disassociated for 7 hours. That's not a fun story. They want to be I went to the club and that was it. They did normal things.
I was gonna say those are normal people.
Yeah, exactly, normies. And I would try to calm myself down before going into the office. It was exhausting. It was just. I once had a sales manager come over to me and say, it looks like you never like the music that's on in here. And I'm like, I don't. And he goes, what do you not like about it? And I said, I don't know what possessed me to say this. I didn't know that these words were going to come out of my mouth. What I said is, being in this room makes me feel like I was shrunk down to 3 inches tall and I woke up hungover inside of a pinball machine. And he goes, okay. I don't know how to help you with that. And I was like, you probably shouldn't have asked. And he goes, okay, I'm going to be somewhere else now. And I was like, good. If I had to keep going to that environment every day, being the problem, being
being this,
yeah,
the way that
being
you are.
I'm always the cog with the broken teeth in the machinery. Yeah, it'll get it done, but there's gonna be some hiccups. It would just feel like I'm just walking around I'm imitating human behavior, and really it's special needs Sasquatch. That's what's really going on here.
So if anyone feels like this, you've come to the right place.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are some fun things about the autism and the ADHD. My favorite things though are when people say things to you, most of the time I don't talk about it because people feel like they have to have a response, or they have to tell you what they think. Or since moving here, I have met a couple of people. I've talked about it a little bit because they'll see me engage in some kind of behavior, or I'll stim because I get the hand flappy sometimes, and somebody will be like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, sorry about the autisms. And then you talk about it a little bit, and I've had 4 different people be like, because your parents vaccinated you. Vaccines do not fucking cause autism. If you do not this is my public service announcement. Okay? If you don't vaccinate your children, you don't have less people with autism. You have the same number of autistic people. They just now also have polio. Okay? I'm really a huge fan of not having polio. Pro vaccines, okay? Vaccines don't fucking cause autism. There's no scientific evidence that suggests that they do.
No.
No, it's not because my fucking parents vaccinated me. It's just because I'm like this.
Mm-hmm.
And the world does need people with autism.
Have you ever had someone say that you make autism like look good or like?
Oh yeah.
Like.
Oh, so you're high functioning.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
yeah.
it, at first, the first time somebody told me that was like, oh, well, you're really good for you. You're really high functioning. It was, I'm like, I'm insulted by that, but I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, this bothers me, but why am I bothered? And it's because, like, the fact that I have a job and a marriage and, like, I pay my bills and I, like, drive a car and I live independently, they're just like, wow,
You make it work.
that's impressive. And, man, such a freaking mess. But even the people who diagnosed me, like, I felt like being called high functioning was an accusation. Like, I was being accused of being high functioning. That was fun because people only view you in the context of what you can do for larger society or what you can do for them. Right? They like, oh, you don't seem autistic because I haven't personally inconvenienced them with my autism. Or they'll be like, do you really have it? Because you seem, I mean, nobody ever says I seem normal, but like, but one of the other fun ones is that since it's in my medical file, I had somebody, I needed to test for COVID back in 2020. Mm-hmm. Because I had an exposure. We all did at one point or another, and I tested negative, luckily. But the guy coming at me with the swab back when they had to come at you with the really long swab before they worked the shit out. Yeah. And he goes, so I see here that that you're autistic. And I was like, yeah, is that relevant? He goes, you're not going to bite me, are you? What? Like, does he think autism is rabies? Like,
you're gonna get it.
Is he worried it's contagious? I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I kind of want to now. Did I do it? I don't need to take this shit from you. Hold this dinosaur.
Oh my god. Yep. This is the most autistic dinosaur I've ever. Look at that. Oh, it's a tickle chicken.
A tickle chicken? I don't like that.
You've never heard this before?
No.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I just acquire and hoard dinosaurs with the intention of giving to them to you when you don't expect it.
This is the...
And I specifically acquire really
feet
weird
are
ones.
Different.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the terrible dinosaurs.
These are so bad. I'm going to take, like, high-quality pictures of these so you guys can see them.
Yes.
Oh, man, that's so bad.
Yeah, I thought you'd appreciate it.
I'm going to call that Femily.
She'll love that.
It's her favorite dinosaur, and it's going to be amazingly so bad.
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to talk about autism anymore because now you made me feel weird about my hand flappy. Let's play another round of You've Done It, I Haven't. Do you have a topic?
I do. Today's topic is items. So it's very broad.
Very broad.
Yep. Okay. ADHD.
Speaking of STEM.
Okay. The first one is, have you ever loaned an item to a friend or family, and do you still have it? So, I don't know where I was thinking on that. Like, do you have any kleptos in your family? I don't know how that... Nope, we're skipping that one. Because I can do that.
You can. This is your segment. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever broken an item that you needed most? Like, right then and there?
I one time I broke a pen.
Yeah.
Before a written exam, and like as they're handing out the tests, and the pen I somehow broke in my hand, and I think I was like absentmindedly like gripping it tight, and I snapped the barrel, and it's one of those like liquid ink pens, and it went everywhere.
Oh no.
And it ruined my life. I took a 0 and went home. I was like, no. They're like, oh, you can go wash up and everything. Well, see, here's the problem: is it was sticky.
See, tisms.
I can't be sticky. Okay, like it is better to die. I don't want to be fucking sticky. And it made it had the sticky stickies, and I had to go. I had to go home. I had to shower. I had to burn those clothes immediately. I
250.
252.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the worst thing for me was maybe I broke a tool when my dad was working on the car. That was it. Boring.
That was it. I know I've broken lots of stuff. Yeah, but that was the one that the most traumatic thing that I could think of, that immediately sprang to mind.
Yeah, see, if that happened to me, I would just be bummed.
Right, you would have done the normal thing, go wash your hands, come back, ask for a new copy of the test that didn't have ink all over it, and you would have gone about your day, which is a reasonable way to behave. But I was like, nope!
Just take the L and just go.
Yeah, and then I went to bed for like...
Did you really?
Yeah, at like 2 p.m, like an insane person, and I'm like, I'm done with today, I will start over tomorrow.
Reset. Wow, that is a hard reset.
Yeah, I was very upset.
Do you know how old you were?
I think it was maybe 16, 17.
So undiagnosed?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Right. Well, I thought I was undiagnosed. Turns out my parents were told. They just didn't feel the need to tell me.
They just didn't tell you?
Yeah.
Wow. This kind of ties in the whole thing. Have you ever puked or been nauseous because of a sound or texture?
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh. You did it to me the other day.
I did.
She got a new hard drive, and I'm going to talk about this. I can get through this.
Sure.
You know when you get new electronics, and they come with all the sticky film?
Uh-huh.
And they've got, like, the little protectors and screen stuff, and a lot of people really like peel... A lot of people... I can't even imagine. My imagination is so good. I'm, like, experiencing this right now.
Know.
A lot of people really like to peel that stuff off. I can't even be in the room with it. I can't be in the room with it. And here it is right here.
I was super
It's this hard drive. She was so excited about her new multiple terabyte hard drive, and she's like, I walk in and she's peeling the stickers off, and I was like, whoop. I had to like leave.
And I looked over, I was like, oh shit. Because I enjoy that. Like it's a thing for me. It's fine.
No, when I'm building Lego models, because I like the Technique Legos and stuff. If they have decals that you have to put on, like Rob has to do those.
Right.
I have to leave. I will put the thing together. I'm like, you do the stickers, because there's stickers. No to stickers.
I've painted her house before, and with the tape and everything, I have to do that.
I can paint, but like the prep work of doing the tape, and then worse than that, when you have to remove the tape, like peeling the tape off the window trim.
I'm taking the tape off. I'm just yelling, sorry. It's a thing.
Yeah. So thanks for that. That's good. Good. What else is in your bag?
Okay. That was it.
That can't be it, really?
Be it. Oh no, I think
Did you throw the wrong? Look at her.
Yeah. Nope. I think. Hold on.
She's running. She's leaving. And she bailed. It's over.
Did I accidentally scrunch up too? Nope, that was it.
Okay, that's it for You've Done It and I Haven't. Perfect. You know what segment's been missing from this episode, though?
Hi, Brandy.
Hi, Brandy! Who made this headband for me?
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
She tie-dyes. She's really fucking good at tie-dye. This is my current.
Was that one of her hyperfixations?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, she can hyperfixate like a motherfucker. But yeah.
Is it just you, or do they have some tisms?
Well, my dad definitely does.
Got it.
Because there's that whole, like, running, like, he bugged out when we were kids. And so the way I remember, you want to hear this story, how we ended up in the woods. I was born in Pasadena. My parents were from LA. And so we were growing up in, Los Angeles. And back in the early 90s, things were bad in LA. And, always helicopters all the way, the normal people probably don't call them pork chops, police helicopters around all the time.
I kind of like that, though.
Pork chop, yeah.
Okay.
Always buzzing the neighborhood and stuff. And I must have been 4 or 5 years old. And I heard the helicopters woke me up, and I get up, and I noticed as I'm walking to my parents' room, I see my dad, and he's like standing out, and we had like a little townhouse in the courtyard of our little townhouse, and he's just out there in his boxers holding a gun, staring up as the little spotlights sweep by from the pork chops looking for whatever they're looking for. And it was a normal occurrence. Like, I was used to it at that point, but they woke me up. I walk out, I'm like, hey, Dad, what are you doing? And he just kind of absent-mindedly says, you know, at this range, at the height that these guys are flying, I bet I could pick off a pilot and get some fucking sleep. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get Mom. And then I did, and I think Mom put me back to bed. I mean, I was really young.
Yeah.
Right? And I might be conflating a couple of memories here, but in my memory, that happened. I'm like, I'm gonna go get Mom. And then the next day we were in the woods. Like, that's straight up. We were like, fuck, gone, done with LA. Like, no more. And moved to Humboldt County and way out in the deep woods in a place called Panther Gap. So yeah, he's probably autistic.
Yeah, that's not a normal reaction.
His dad definitely was. Little brother definitely. Me definitely. Sisters, little. Like they're way more normal than me.
90 to 150 range, you think?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, probably. But when I still will never forget the diagnosis day, because I was working for the behavioral therapy company. And you have to get a bunch of certifications, you have to get licensed, and the last part of getting your licensing as a behavioral therapist is you sit down with 2 other PhDs. One of them pretends to be whatever child that you're working with, exhibits a bunch of behaviors, and you have to divert those behaviors or handle those behaviors correctly and take correct data on what it is you see. And then you get your certification, or you don't, right? And so I go through the whole process. I take all my data, and they're like, yeah, you definitely passed. Awesome. How old were you when you got your diagnosis? And I was like, first of all, rude. What do you mean? How old was I when I got my diagnosis? And both of these women were my bosses at the behavioral therapy company. And she goes, what do you mean? And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, you have the most pronounced Asperger's I have seen in years. What? And she worked for a behavioral therapy company. She goes, I assume that's why you gravitated to this line of work. We have a lot of therapists who are on the spectrum because, frankly, they speak autism.
Right.
And so...
And you're like...
Those that are capable tend to be really good hires for it. It's what we liked about you in the interview. We assumed you knew. And I was like, excuse the absolute fuck out of me.
Way to make your mind blow.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, my whole life is a lie.
Oh my God.
So later that night, I called my mom, and I was like, you're never going to believe what I was accused of, because I'm like, I've been accused of having autism. And my mom goes, oh yeah. And I was like, what? She goes, your teachers told us over and over again. Like, you had counselors that were just like, well, so you guys know. She goes, remember that one, like, life skills class you were in? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, not everybody's in that class. I was like, I was in special ed? That doesn't seem right. I am very smart, okay? Oh I meet dumber people than me all the time. Maybe I'm not the smartest, but I'm smart enough to know how dumb I am. And she's like, no. Like, at that time, I had, like, a lot of misconceptions and stuff. I'm like, what do you mean I was special needs? She's like, I'm like, why didn't you tell me? And she goes, I just didn't see, we couldn't find a good way to bring it up.
So she just left it.
They're just like, she gets good grades. She goes to school most of the time. Even when I did school, I was still getting A's. Like, I'm like, I'll show up when necessary. But yeah, we figured you knew. Like, we just kind of figured you'd sort of put it together. And I'm like, no, I've been blindsided by a stranger at work. And so that's how I got my diagnosis. And then I worked with them a little bit more closely to figure out a couple of other things. They gave me the RADS test and figured out that not only do you have autism, you have, like, you went back for seconds. Like you.
Ugh, you're the worst kind of autistic.
You can't even count.
That is amazing.
I'm like, this just yeah, I didn't tell, this is the first time you're hearing the story too.
It is.
It would have made a lot of other things in my life make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like moments of weird failures and hurt feelings and not being able to make friends, and I never had a good time of that. Dealing with romantic partners, dealing with jobs, like there's so many things that if I had known that this is why I was having a hard time, I could have researched some better tools. I could have talked to some professionals about like tools to cope. The problem with like the reason I got into behavioral therapy, who knows? I was drawn toward it, and I figured, oh, I can help people like my little brother, because we were like, it was more obvious with him as a younger child. And I wanted to be a happy helper. The reason I got out of behavioral therapy is everything about ABA therapy, which is applied behavioral analysis, is designed to make the patient easier for everybody else to deal with. It's designed to teach you to mask your manifestations. It's designed to teach you to look normal. And to a degree, those things are necessary. You've got to be able to hold down a job. Being able to look normal will let you have independence. It will let you have a job and have relationships and maintain all of the, like, it'll let you go to the grocery store without having a meltdown. It'll let you manage a meltdown. But it mostly forces you to internalize meltdowns or stim behavior. It forces you to keep a lid on those things. And then you end up with depression. Because anytime you're forcing yourself to be something that you're not, you're going to end up super bummed out, if not outright depressed. And I just didn't, whether, there's still a lot of people that think ABA therapy is the most effective way to help people on the spectrum, and it is very effective. It is highly effective, and you can use ABA, applied behavioral analysis, on anything that exhibits behavior. Like, it's been great for training my cats. When people say, you can't train cats. No,
yes,
you can't train cats.
Yeah.
I'm amazing at it. They all come to their names individually. They give high fives. They sit for a treat. Like, it works great.
It's a thing.
It's a very humane way to, like, train animals, but I don't know if we should be using it to train children. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't. I'm saying that I was like, since I'm not sure, I can't participate anymore.
Right. But it's a helpful tool.
Oh, sure. It can, but it can't be the only thing.
It can't be the only thing.
And teaching somebody, especially a child on the spectrum, that this is the way that you naturally are, and we all fucking hate it. This is the way that you naturally are, and don't. It's just so, like, that's rough, man. Like, if a kid gets excited and wants to hand flappy,
let them hand flappy.
Yeah, they're not hurting anybody.
No.
Now, if you have kids that are engaging in self-harm behaviors for self-stim, when you start, obviously we need to intervene. But so much of the cases that I was working on was, we have to intervene in everything. We have to intervene in everything that the parents think is annoying or weird. And, like, no, maybe the intervention should be like, okay, yeah, your kid has autism, and yes, we'll help with these things. But on these things, the problem isn't your child's autism, it's that you're a fucking asshole. And here's how to not be. And I had parents that would say things to me like, I don't think this is working, because if you were good at your job, he wouldn't still be autistic. I've had that said to me in a couple of different ways, and a couple of different, like, I've had more than one parent say that shit to me. And this is after finding out that I was also somebody with autism. And I'm like, that's the most hurtful fucking thing I've ever heard. And I can't make them not be that way. I can't avoid those situations if I'm going to be in this line of work. And I just felt like I was being party to a system that, like, oppresses neurodivergent people. So I'm like, I don't think I can. The best I can do is just decline to participate any further. But it has made life a lot easier just to know, like, why I am certain ways about certain things. Like, why I'm incapable of flirting. Why
I like how that's the first thing you go to.
Well, yeah. But, you know, sure, it's a big part of getting along and dealing with people, and dealing with people that you're interested in, or dealing with people you're attracted to. But, like, all the way through high school, anybody who wanted to be a slut could be, except for me. I really super wanted to get laid as often as possible, and I had a banging bot at the time. Shouldn't have been hard. I'm pretty cute. But apparently when you go, I think you're neat, wanna fuck?
It's not
Terrifying to to a potential partner. They're like, ah! Like, I'm like, what? Okay. I guess that's a no. I'll go to somebody else now. Bye. Like, just awkward. I was like bullied incessantly.
Aww.
I was also usually wearing a cape and carrying a briefcase. That's a fine thing to do. It's fucking not. What?
I think that has more to do with you not being able to flirt.
Yeah.
The cape and the briefcase.
Have you ever worn a cape and carried a briefcase? It makes you feel amazing. I highly recommend it. If you have access to a cape and a briefcase right now, pause this, go put those on right now, and you'll feel fancy as fuck. I felt very official. Officially what? I don't know, but it made me feel important and pretty. And those are the things that I'll do. And I'm not interested in what other people think about them. But here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to be interested in what other people think in order to, like, get along, like, in society. And I'm just not very often. Like, until I care about that person. And I have to care a lot.
Right.
I have to care, like, I care what you think because I care about you a lot. I care what my husband thinks because I care about him a lot. I really care about whether or not my cats think I'm a good person.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else, I don't care at all. I'm not interested, no. And I don't care if they know what I think about them. And that has created issues before. Like, I've been fired from lots of stuff because somebody asked me a direct question and I gave them a direct and honest answer.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. I don't know what you want from me. Normies, we don't know what you want. Like, when you say, what do you think about this? And I go, I think it's fucking horseshit.
Mm-hmm.
Since you asked. And then I'm in trouble because you asked me and I said the thing that I thought. I thought that's what you wanted. I don't know when you're supposed to lie. It's not that I'm not capable of coming up with a reasonable and kind lie if it's necessary. I just don't know when I'm supposed to. And so I just usually won't. Yeah. Like, does this make me look fat? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so does your face. But that's fine.
It's because of that. No, I'm just kidding.
or whatever the thing is that you're just like, that's a random example pulled out of nowhere.
Mm.
But
No, see, I was gonna use that same example.
yeah.
Mm.
I think that I had a boss one time. We had to redecorate something or rearrange the furniture in the office or something, and then we get all done, and she's very, very proud of her new layout. And I was like, no, this is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Let's redirects traffic in a very dumb way. She added some decorative elements where I'm like, these are fucking pointless. Why did we spend money on this? But I hadn't been asked. I had been asked to move the furniture and rearrange the things and execute her vision. And so I did what I was asked to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she asked me what I thought, I was like, oh no, this is terrible. And she goes, well, what do you mean? And I was like, you moved we put in an entire day of work. We could have been doing other things, and you spent money that didn't need to be spent. Company's already not on budget here. Like, there's a whole bunch of things about this that are wrong. And yeah, I think this is a stupid idea. Because I did think that. And in my defense, it was a stupid idea. That's not what you're supposed to say to your boss, apparently. And then, like, 3 or 4 weeks later, she found a reason to fire me. But, like, looking back, I was like, oh, okay. I see how I see what, I don't agree, but, like, I see what happened here. But that's... Yeah. So this has been our episode on autism. I'm sure it'll come up again in the future.
Tism talk.
Tism talk with Cat Jack. It's got advantages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see stuff that other people don't see. I will notice obvious solutions sometimes.
See, I get that too.
Yeah. You recognize behaviors and patterns of behavior very, very quickly, which is, I think, what drew me to ABA in the first place. And I like data, and most of the job is recording data. And I was like, yes, let's record and aggregate data, and then you analyze it, because that's the second A. Applied is we're applying it. We're going to get the data. But the third letter, the other A, oh, we lost the camera.
Bruh.
Is analysis. So come over here. We're going to go ahead and end this episode.
Yep.
You can fit on my lap because you're very small.
God. Okay.
So this has been Feral and Unfiltered. I'm Cat Jack.
And I'm Red.
And we'll see you next Friday for Feral Fridays. That's it. That's the episode. I told you we needed to charge the batteries longer.
It's over and done with now.
Yeah, but the important thing is that I was right. And I fucking love being right. I like it so much.
So much.
I like it better than chocolate.
Really?
I would, if I could be right or have chocolate.
You would be right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that stay in the episode?